Hello, my love bug. um, I had to get out of the house quick, and not in a bad way, but I've been doing a lot of channeling today. Well, this week, really. Well, this year. uh, I ooh, lighting. Yes, let's do this way. Uh, I have been doing a lot of channeling, and I uploaded a podcast episode of. Put my water bottle down. Podcast episode of what I channeled today. So if you want to hear the ramblings, I decided to upload the ramblings as well as an actual video, like where it makes sense. But if you want to hear everything, the link, you may have to copy and paste it because my channel is still very new, but it'll be down in the description. Okay. Hey, Rosie. Hey, Mama. You just gotta be out in the rain, don't you? Hey, Mama, Mama, Mama. Hey, Mama. Eating hay? Okay. What was I saying? Oh, I said I wasn't gonna ramble. To all of the black sheeps, as I come up on our black horse. Say hi, Jack. To all of the black sheeps. Hold on. I'm just gonna let y'all look at the trees because somebody around where we live on a helicopter and they be like in the floating around. Not floating around, but flying around. And it'd be loud. Okay. To all of the black sheeps, embrace it. I was a black sheep in my family. Well, yeah, was the black sheep in my family. I was always the weird one. And when it comes to being the weird one, he agrees. When it comes to being a weird one, you're supposed to embrace it. And I don't mean weird like, oh, you're causing people harm type of way. I don't mean that, you're being strange and creepy. I mean, in terms of what you like, if you are very intelligent about something or you're into something like anime or hell, psychology, or even like, what do you call it? Things that people that go against the status quo, that people don't seem to be normal. Like if you don't want a normal job, if you don't want a normal family, you're supposed to lean into that. You are the black sheep because you're supposed to stand out. You are not supposed to blend in. Why can I just blend in? If you've seen That's So Raven, you know that scene when she played Liz Anya. Why can I just blend in? You are not supposed to blend in. Oh, that's where that went. You are the black sheep because you're supposed to stand out, because you are supposed to be here and do what it is that you do, what it is that you feel called to in your life. Yes, one thing that I've learned over these 30 plus years is that black sheep will oftentimes fail. Yeah. I had to learn how to be okay with failure. I had to learn how to be okay with it not being a straight path to getting what I want and it being all these diversions and going left and right and up and down and falling on my ass and hurting myself literally. I did that a lot. Losing my, having health issues, because you will oftentimes go through having things taken from you because you're not supposed to be attached to things. And I still fight that because there's still things that I want that I'm going to get. But I've learned to be okay if I happen to lose them. I've learned to be okay if the passion for that thing that once was is no longer there anymore. I'm learning that. And it's taking a lot of... I was going to put my phone down, but I don't know if I want to put my phone down there. That look gross. Ooh, don't fall. Because I'm tired of holding it. Stay, damn it. Okay, fine. We'll work with it. Who cares? I just threw on some clothes real quick. But we are we are the black sheeps because we are supposed to stand out. We are not supposed to blend into society. We are supposed to be the movers and the shakers that are supposed to shake some shit up. And we have to be okay with being outcasted. We have to be okay with not, because I got my earbuds in, we have to be okay with not fitting in because we are not supposed to fit in. We are not supposed to be the ones who, have the perfect life. And I mean in terms of like what perfect means in terms of what people's life is. You have the once upon a time the perfect life for Americans were, well, white Americans, was the picket fence with the 2.5 kids living in a fucking cult. What do they call suburb? It was shade. But that is not what it's supposed to be for us. We are supposed to have all of these detours because life is the journey. The journey is life. That's what we are supposed to experience. We are supposed to have so many different experiences, so many different lessons, so many different traits and stories and um, um, traits, stories, interests, things that entertain us, how we entertain other people. I had, because it was always forced on me, what do you want your life to look like? Where do you want to go? What school you want to go to? What do you want to do? And I love to read and I love to learn, but not in a traditional way. I love to read and learn in a way of whatever it was that I felt called to, that's what I wanted to learn. If in 6 weeks I don't give a fuck about that thing anymore, I need to move on to the next thing. And I was shamed for so long about that. I was shamed for so long about how, oh, the car on the other side. I was like, why does that sound so close? How I learned. I was shamed for so many years about how I went about life. So if I told somebody I was interested in something, they planned things for me because I was around people who were somewhat supportive, but they were supportive in a way of if you told them you wanted to do something, they would come up with a 5-point plan of how to do it, like it was going to be all about your life, because that's all they knew. All they knew was all they knew was doing things by the book. You're supposed to hustle. You're supposed to work like this, and this. You're supposed to only do this one thing and only live this one type of life because if you don't, you're a failure or you're lazy. And I have been called lazy my entire life. I have been called lazy my entire life, y'all. I've done so much work and I've been called lazy my entire fucking life since I was a fucking child. You know how hard that is to hear from adults in your family and from teachers and shit when you actually do a lot and want to do more, but you literally can't because your body is literally not allowing you to, because you were born with certain ailments that nobody takes seriously. And you can't do more than what you can do in that moment. And that is how we are supposed to live. You are not supposed to be doing more than what you can do in this moment. If you are laid up in bed and you cannot move, there is nothing else you're supposed to do, because anything else will be too much on your body and on your mind. You are supposed to go inward. You are supposed to tap into who you are, and it's easier said than done. Trust me, it's easier said than done because it's hard, especially when you are in a society where people are like, dude, you got to do more. And I spread that around to so many people. You got to do more. I did more and I hit a wall. I did more and I hit burnout multiple times. I did more and I had a mental breakdown. And a lot of people don't know that about me, but I've had multiple mental breakdowns. But I hit a mental breakdown around, I don't even remember what year that was. 20, I got count. I graduated 2015. There we go. I hit a wall in 2015. I was working two jobs because I'm like, yeah, I could do it. I could move out. I was telling my mother, when I was telling myself, I'm going to prepare to move out. I had just gone through an abusive relationship mentally. It was a mentally abusive relationship that was getting increasing to physical, and would have gotten physical had I not got the fuck. And I was tired. I was exhausted. Also, I was dealing with stuff in my body that I had been dealing with for years that was starting to come to a head where I could not ignore it anymore. So in the abusive relationship, the person was always commenting on my weight. Like, you got with me at a certain size, and now so I was about maybe 15 to 20 pounds heavier than what I am now. About 20, I want to say 20, 25 pounds. And they were an athlete. They played amateur, was it amateur? Basketball, whatever they call it. And so their whole focus was working out and changing their bodies. And it wasn't until they started to overwork that they understood how hard that could be, you working out and overworking. But I was like, I'm always tired, because I was. I had been so tired from birth. And it was because I was supposed to focus on me. When I say go in, I mean focus on you. You first, and then the other people around you, including your children. Find out all of the different ways that you can get some type of help, even if it's like a temporary food stamp type of situation or whatever, because you deserve that nurturing. You deserve that love, that comfort, that support, even if you have to give it to yourself first. You deserve that. You deserve that. And so I didn't learn. I was always told you got to be healthy, because if you're fat, then that's not good, and you don't deserve to live if you're if you're fat. The shit that people put on us, on the fat people, to make them feel worthless. Being told that I don't deserve to feel good does not make me want to work out. It made me want to eat. It made me want to do the opposite. It does not make me want to pick up an apple. It makes me want to pick up a honey bun. It does not make me want to pick up a fiber-filled granola bar. It makes me want to pick up a Snickers, two of them, with some Doritos and some brisk iced tea. That's what it makes me want to do. So it wasn't before the last few years that I learned that I could not focus on what I was supposed to do, what I was supposed to look like. I could not focus on that. I had to go inward and figure out, how do I want to feel? What is it that I need in this moment? What is it that I have in me that I can do to help me, help myself, but also help other people? Who around me, because I also had to learn to ask for help. Ooh, that was hard. That was hard. That was so fucking hard. And I still have little issues with that, but not as much as I used to. I had people make promises to me and would break them up unprovoked, So they'd be like, ask me for anything. Ask me, blah, blah, blah. And it was almost like, well, one, it wasn't genuine. And two, it was almost like they hated the fact that I would ask them. So I'm like, if you don't mean it, don't say it. So people would start to take a joy out of not helping me. Like, because they wanted to suffer, because they never got that help, so they didn't want to help me. But they couldn't help it, because they actually wanted to help me. They actually wanted to help me, So they would offer to help and then get upset about it. And then would get upset when I would accept the help and wouldn't feel the need to get on my knees and grovel to them and say, thank you, oh my God, I can't believe you helped me. Now I'm going to thank you once. You offered, but I'm not going to kiss your ass. That's not what I'm going to do. And they started to resent me for that, which is crazy, because if you help me, I'm the type of person that I'm going to want to help you, especially if it's genuine. If it's genuine, not you plotting. Like, if I help you, meanwhile you thinking, oh, you're going to do this for me. No, if it's genuine, and I can read people, I want to help you. So it actually benefits you, and that's also asking for discernment both ways, because you don't just help anybody and they get upset when people use you. You have to learn who you can help and who you can't help. But also, if you help people, do it as a gift. and not with the expectation of getting something back. But you can have healthy boundaries with that as well. But when people would help me and they would be genuine, all of my talents and my skills and stuff would get to moving, and I would want to help. But when I was younger, I was not selfish. No, I was selfish. I mean, I'm still selfish, but I have that extra level, a little level of empathy, because I'm always put myself first. But I was selfish in the sense of, since you don't want to help me, fuck you then, and fuck all y'all, because it would come off like people would get an immense joy out of embarrassing me, out of letting me down, out of leaving me hanging. And I also had to realize that that showed where they had something that was lacking. They showed where they had to do some work. I realized that I'm supposed to stand out. Hello, scalp. I stand out everywhere I go. And I'm supposed to, and not supposed to, like, if you don't do this thing, then what, not like that, but I stopped fighting against things that I naturally, well, I had to learn what I was naturally good at. Because my mother used to always say, well, you need to help people. Because if you don't help people, and I'm like, how can I help people when people don't even want to help me? Nope, it fell. I guess it wants to be down there. How can I help people when people don't want to help me? Right. Why would I help people when people don't want to help me? Why would I help people when people get embarrassed? I mean, not when people get embarrassed, but they get a kick out of embarrassing me. Why the fuck would I do that? And I could not understand that with that comes, like I said, discernment of who to help, as well as, because you really genuinely cannot help everybody. And the biggest thing for the last 10 years is people making folks feel bad because they won't spread themselves so thin and help every fucking body. You cannot help everybody. There are a set amount of people that each person is supposed to help. Each one teach one. Help one person, the next person help that person, and so on and so forth. You're supposed to pay it forward, not try to help everybody that you got to reach to. You will wear yourself out that way. But if you show up helping someone and other people see that, there might be somebody else around who may have bigger pull than you who can help more people, and so on and so forth and so forth. We are not supposed to save the world alone, and that mindset comes from, guess where that mindset comes from? It comes from religion. We are supposed to be Christ-like, not Jesus Christ. Christ-like is a community mindset. It is a mindset of, we all help each other, not just one person. No one can just help everybody. That's literally impossible. There's 8 billion people on this planet. How the fuck are we supposed to help? Come here, let me pop you in the forehead. So you do what you can, where you are, what power you have, but you also have to let people help you. There are some, and it pisses me off so fucking bad, because I want to get in their face and be like, baby, you deserve help too. There are some disabled creators on TikTok. People have literally tried to help them. I want to give you this. Let me. And they're like, no, I don't want to take it. Don't give me your money away, baby. You're dumb. And that's the first me. The second me is saying, you deserve that help, baby. You are blocking other people's blessings and blocking other people's good energy because you don't think you deserve that. That's usually where it comes from, because especially with Tumblr mindset, because everybody know that there were people who made folks feel bad for receiving help. Why not just Tumblr? That's the world. If you get help, how dare you? But how are we supposed to pass along the communal basket? How are we supposed to help each other if we don't have shit? We're looking to the top 1% to help people, and that's why they got us by the that's why they done like that's why they done yoked us up the way that they done yoked us up, because we are depending, and they made sure we were depending on the top 1% to give us what it is that we need. Really, it's the top 0.1, 0.5%, 0.0003%. And when in actuality, we have everything that we need in us already. Looking outside of ourselves for help, wrong. We were never supposed to do that. Looking outside ourselves for help, looking outside our communities or ourselves. It starts with ourselves, especially with the black sheep. The black sheep have everything that we need already in us. We just have to tap into ourselves, our inner selves. And oh, the horses came over. We have to tap into what it is that we have naturally. And how one way to do that is by meditation, but I am not somebody who started off with sitting cross-legged in one space. That was not for me. Nah. That was not for me. I could not sit and focus long enough, and it also is a thing of control. Having to learn how to let go of control, because baby, me and control were besties. Okay, we let go of control and trust y'all. You crazy. So I had to learn. Well, first of all, I got my ass laid out multiple times. Those breakdowns that I was talking about, they were times when I was supposed to go inward, and it was too much at the time. It was way too much. I was supposed to sit and let my thoughts go, but where my thoughts were was too much, and I get that. Trying to figure out what your thoughts are, and they telling you all types of crazy shit. No, that might be too much. So over time, over a few years, I started to go into music, listening to good music, like music that didn't make me feel bad, music that didn't tap into, feeling like crap and woe is me, the world is over type shit, like actual good music that made me want to get up and do a little shimmy. What else? The movies and stuff that I enjoyed as a kid. And if you didn't enjoy movies as a kid, maybe looking into some kid movies to watch. That's what really spoke to who I was. Inside of me was that little child. That's who you are. That child never leaves you. So getting to that, it had to start with children's media. I watched Hercules and Cheetah Girls and what was it? Lizzie McGuire. Brace Face was my shit. What else did I watch? I watched so much stuff, and it made me happy. And I did that over and over and over again. The music I enjoyed as a kid, and I might have a playlist of the nostalgic music that I had that made me feel so good. Like at my, that slither of chance. Even if you had a hard life, the times when you actually felt genuinely happy, and it wasn't somebody manipulating you, or maybe, unfortunately, it might have been. But maybe they were using, that might be too much. That might be too much for people. So I'm not going to say that. I was going to say maybe they use something that you like. That might be too hard to tap into. But other things, because I'm not a therapist, so I'm not going to tell you to do that. But other things that you like, that you notice, doing that. That's how I found that I got back to who I was. And that's how I noticed it with other black sheeps. They had to go back to what they liked. Before society tried to tell them who they were. Before society tried to tell you who you should and shouldn't be. How is painting and doing things that bring yourself joy a bad thing? It's not. It's a lie. We have been lied to. And we cannot be lied to anymore because it's just time for us to be able to be. But you deserve help. You deserve love. You deserve kindness. You deserve peace. You deserve to just be in your body without trying to be anything else. If you want to be something else, that will come. I spent so many years trying to force myself to be something that I really wanted to be. And I was really supposed to, like, spirit would be like, sit down. Or whatever you want to call it, would be like, nope, sit down. Nah, take my forehead, just, nope, sit your ass down. Trying to get up and just, nope, sit down. It's like, you're not listening, sit down. And I'm like, I don't want to listen, it's too hard. And it's like, I don't care, sit down. And I can laugh about it now because it's funny now. It wasn't funny then. Like, I had a pinched nerve in my shoulder from working way too hard because I worked on a computer. And it was there for so long. That told me I needed to move my body. Sitting down for long periods of time, which is why I'm standing and moving around a little bit, not for me. Sitting down for too long is not for me. My body does not like it. Sacral chakra. I was, when I was a baby, I had a hernia. And I have one right now. And I noticed that the lighter I eat, the more I move, especially my spine and my hips, it doesn't bother me. I feel free. I feel lighter. I like that word. I feel lighter. And I don't just mean weight. I mean my energy feels lighter. Um, Crying. My mother told me it was okay to cry, but outside people and things would look at me strange if I cried. And then they didn't have the capacity enough to, I mean, they didn't have enough of the care to be able to, whatever. They didn't have the ability to care about why I was crying. Not the people, not really the people closest to me, because they were also in their own journey and they just couldn't. They couldn't. And I had to learn how to be okay with that. That was hard. But crying, I will cry anywhere. I just got done crying before I came out here because I was watching it. I was thinking about who I am and what I'm becoming, and who all the things that people try to force me to not be, and that's literally who I am now. And it feels, oh, and that, what the hell is that? And it feels so good. And it has never felt this good before in my life. I also had to accept and realize that I need people. But, and my biggest fear with that was asking the wrong people for help. I didn't realize that. But not wanting to ask people for help was me really being afraid of asking the wrong people for help. That's really all it is. Because the wrong people either told us they were going to help and didn't, or when we asked them for help, they didn't. You know, and being told no, or to be made to be feel embarrassed for needing help. But through trusting myself, working on my intuition, which all came after I started watching the kids stuff, going back into the activities that I like. I bought felt paper, right? Felt glitter paper. And I put them here. I bought felt glitter paper like 2 years ago and made Christmas decorations when nobody else was in the Christmas spirit, because it was another industry that I was in. I got into the Christmas spirit and I made Christmas decorations with like glue, and I was like looking up tutorials on how to like place the little, but I had rhinestones and shit. I had glitter everywhere. But it made me feel so good. I was so happy. Like, I didn't end up keeping those decorations. I didn't use them again last year. But just knowing that I did that, it made me feel so good. So the more you go into that, the more you tap into just the things that bring you joy, the most pure things ever. Even if it's being silly, like cackling and cracking up laughing. There's a reason why they demonize the witch's cackle, because a laugh is powerful. A laugh is powerful, y'all. Like, my laugh, I love when people's laughs make me laugh, because my laugh makes people laugh. So when when I crack up laughing at something, it just feels so good. And sometimes, unless somebody got to stick up their ass, or sometimes it changes the room. Sometimes, of course, if you're not around the right people, it won't. But also using it through doing all of that stuff, learning how to laugh, not being afraid to cry, being okay with my emotions. And that was like a process. It didn't all happen at once, but it was like this, then this, then this, then this, then this. I am now unapologetically me. And I don't feel the need to answer to anybody. Because especially on the internet now, a lot of people want you to answer to them. And I'm like, babes, you can't even pay your bills. Who the fuck are you to answer to? Oh, it's about that storm. You can't even pay your bills. Who the fuck are you to answer to? What power do you have? And you have a lot of power. It's just that you're not using it in the correct way. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? You don't even know who you are. So how the fuck are you going to tell me who I should be? Put like some sunglasses and like owned up there or burn or something. I don't know. But you don't even know who the fuck you are. Who the fuck are you to tell me who I should be? And I had to learn that too. I didn't know who I was, but I was always trying to tell people who they should be. In actuality, it wasn't I was trying to tell people who they should be. I was seeing who people were, really were, and I was like, who you're showing me right now is not you. And I know that. You're just not ready to know that yet. I just didn't accept. I didn't realize that. I was not using my power in the correct way. And when you try to use your power in the incorrect way, it throws everything off balance. You, that person, the people around you, is not that's not what's supposed to happen. I had to get ready to go sit down because in in trying to work on my sacral chakra and stuff because of the hernia. Um, well, black girls know that dip in your back because you're supposed to stand kind of like this. So I have to retrain like my muscles and my joints and stuff in this area, and the hernia is pressing up against, so my lower back hurts basically. But that's what I mean by moving. Constantly moving your body if you can. I say if you can because some people can't. It helps. It really does. It really helps. So, but being patient with yourself, I had to learn how to be patient with myself because, like a child, we have to nurture ourselves like children because for so many years and for so long, we were at childhood age was made to be like we were adults. Children are little people, not little adults. And there, it's not right and it's not fair to expect a child to behave like an adult. That don't even make sense. You gonna expect a puppy to be potty trained? Now cats sometimes naturally know how to be potty trained, but that's if you want to know more about the divine feminine, link in the description. But children have to learn. And technically we are all emotionally and mentally becoming children again. That's why a lot of people want to go out and play now. People are going on hikes. Folks who never like to be outside are like, I want to go outside. People who weren't allowed to be outside, I wasn't allowed to be outside. I grew up in a hood. My mom was like, stay your ass in the house. Like that, and I was actually okay with it because I was always in pain and I ain't like the kids in my neighborhood. So I was like, I ain't gonna argue with you, ma'am. Yes, thank you for not forcing me to go outside. But when I'm about to take this thing off. In certain areas, well, there were certain areas like even in DC where there were like small sections of nature that she would take us to and we could play in, or like at our apartment we had like grass out back and she would take us. But other than that, I was like, thank you, because I don't want to be out here with them anyway. My nervous system was off for so many years, and I talk about that in that video that I posted about Halsey's new album. A lot of our nervous systems are shook because we've been in fight and flight mode or even freeze mode for way too long. Our parents and grandparents have been in that mode for way too long and we don't know how to get out of it. So by getting out of it, we need to, I originally wore this because it was raining. We need to be kids again. That's what we need to do. We need to be kids again. When we first moved to our new house, my roommate wanted to like get a pool, so she got an inflatable pool. It was like wasn't that big. It was enough for us to. Well, I mean, it was. It was about like 6 feet. It was like kind of wide, so we could fit in it. It was like an inflatable pool, and we didn't like swim in it, but we all like got our feet in it, and we started playing with the water guns and the water balloons and stuff, and slipping and sliding and stuff all over the place. Now me, I was careful because back then I had the ankles of a baby deer, so I was not trying to fall on the driveway and bust my head. But it was so much fun. It was so much joy. We were being silly. We, and it was so wholesome. I also got to a point where I could no longer look at the negative shit. I could look at it because I do like talking about not the negative shit, but I do like going into psychology and death and stuff. I am a murder story girly. I am. And I have videos coming for that. But I am a murder story girly, or like a creepy story girly. But I even had to start. I stopped watching certain people when it came to that, and certain videos and or even TV shows when it came to that, because I don't know the energy of the people who's creating it. I don't know their intention when they create it, and I could feel something that didn't feel good. And when I used to say that, like, well, when my mother used to say that, I can't watch that because that don't feel good. And she used to equate it to like Christian shit. She used to do it like that. But energy is energy. And it's all the same thing. And now I understand what she's saying. I can watch certain things, but I'm not somebody who can watch every horror movie under the sun and just go to sleep. It's too heavy. I feel a lot. So I could watch things in increments. I can watch things and decode them. I could watch things and, watch them for what they were. But I'm gonna always decode something. I'm gonna always look up the history of stuff because I'm a history buff. I love history. But I can't just watch anything. I used to love Bad Girls Club. I stopped watching that. I think I was in high school. I stopped watching that stuff a long time ago. I watched Love and Hip Hop for the first few seasons. I was just like, this is just a bunch of negative. Like, it puts me in a mode to fight. Look around. Look at the people who watch it constantly and don't have no other outlet. What energy do they give off? That northeast, the accent came out. What energy do they give off? Aggressive, overly aggressive, like, and not overly and aggressive like it's completely a bad thing, but it taps into their most primal energy, in a sense of there's stuff there that you need to deal with, sacral chakra, and root chakra. There's stuff that you need to deal with that you're not dealing with. So when you watch these shows, it fuels that up in you, and you start taking it out in a way that you probably wouldn't have if you were taught how to deal with your shit. Everybody's walking around angry, and I get that. That's understandable. I mean, look around. But outlet, finding a healthy outlet so that it doesn't come out towards people you care about. Sometimes it needs to come out towards people you care about, because sometimes they got you fucked up, or maybe it was something on your heart. But also how it comes out is very important. Sometimes you meant to say something and say it, but either you were afraid of the reaction, or you were genuinely angry or pissed about something, and it comes out in a way that you meant it. But you might not have said it if you were able to get it out in another way. That's where me moving comes in. Now, if I got a lot of energy, I'm over here dancing around my room. like doing silly shit. Like I'm walking around my room and dancing. It's gotten to the point now, and I think I'll add that to the beginning. I, I was not somebody who could sit and I was not somebody who could sit and meditate in the quiet. That was not me. I had way too much energy for that. Way too much energy for that. I am someone, I might as well take this thing off because it is not staying where it needs to stay. I am not somebody who could, or was not somebody who could sit in silence. I needed music playing often because, well, not a multitude of reasons. I'll go into that later, but I just couldn't. It was too much noise up here. So I learned how to talk. I've got a lot of voice recordings. I learned how to write my thoughts out because the thoughts are supposed to come. That's a good thing. It's just that we don't know what to do with them because society tells us to tell the voices. In my Harley Quinn voice, the voices. They tell us to tell the voices to shut the fuck up. No, that's not a good thing. You need to tell the right people about them voices, honey. You need to tell somebody about them voices. But if they're like, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not gonna tell people if you have like negative thoughts when it comes to like how you feel about yourself. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with that. I can only tell you what I did with that. I had to dig deep down. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay, I'm tripping. I had to dig. That's the attention span. I had to dig deep down and try to figure out why do I feel this way. When was the first time I felt like this? Who made me feel like this and why? Sometimes you don't remember. It's just something that you remember from birth. Sometimes, and I'm realizing this talking to more people because I realized I needed people and I realized I needed people and I need people and I learn from listening to other people. Sometimes it's nothing that you actually heard from people. Sometimes it's shit that your mother heard from people and she passed it down because they done proven that we get some traits and traumas and shit through DNA. So some shit is so embedded into us that we don't even realize that it's not us. It's not ours. It's not ours to hold on to. Though those feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of lack, the feelings of that poor mindset is not yours to hold on to. Feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you're worthless, feeling like you are, if I just did this, I would be better. And it's not like if I did more art, or if I listened to myself more, or if I ate more foods that made me feel good. Not that, but if I worked too hard, or if I, get this much amount of money, I would be better. No, that's not yours to hold on to. It doesn't belong to you. And so I had to learn to let go. I've been saying this for the last few years. We have to flow. Because it came to me after the last, no, it was a time before last that universe energy God sat my ass down. And I was like, we got to stop controlling shit. And I'm laughing because it's simple, but when you are constantly in fight and flight mode, and I was in teenagers, I was in flight and freeze mode and fight. I was a combination. I was probably all four. No, I wasn't fawn. I was fight, sometimes flight. Did I freeze? I did as a kid, but I was very fighty. Fighty without fighting. I fought with my words. And some of the negative traits that we have are actually our powers. I could make somebody feel so fucking small with my words, and that used to make me feel so powerful. That's because I didn't have any power. I didn't know my power. So I felt like I didn't have any power. So the more I started to tap into my words, because my mother always used to tell me your words are powerful. You can speak death and life with the power of your tongue. And she noticed that for me, especially as a kid, because certain things that I would say would actually happen. And people started to notice that about me, so they'd be like, watch your mouth. But I didn't get why they would say that. I know half of it was them not wanting a child or a teenager to speak. But for some of them, it was like, baby, watch your mouth. Because, and some of them didn't know that they knew. Sometimes we don't know that we know things. But it's like parent when a mother say that they dream about fish and it means somebody's pregnant. Some of that has been passed down to people of what that means, and some of it people just like, I dreamed about fish, and you just know it's like an instinct thing, but they don't know why. Like I said, somebody close to me dreamt, and it's Mars and Cancer. Somebody close to me dreamt that I redacted an intruder. Protector, baby. I don't even seem like it. Like, I really don't seem like it. I seem like somebody that needs protection. Those are usually the best protectors. Like, but where was I going with that? Come back. I also couldn't do that either. Once I lost, I used to lose my train of thought. It just be gone. Choo choo. Because I used to try to fight, like, oh my God, what was it? Now I just let it go. If the thought comes back, which it normally does, great. If it doesn't, move on to the next thing. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Sometimes my brain leads me back to the point. The last time I got sat on my ass with the pinched nerve, because I was working too much at my computer, and it hurt. It not just was just pinched. It affected my entire like body. Like I could not. If I moved my shoulder, I would feel pain here. But even moving anything else, I would feel pain in my shoulder. So I literally was laid out for like 2 weeks. And then like off and on, when I would attempt to force work, it would take me out for a day or two. And that's when I learned I needed to stretch and move my body and stuff, because you're sitting too long. Stop trying to control shit. Speaking of which, I need to walk around. Standing in one place. Stop trying to control shit. And I get it. Trying to control shit makes you feel safe. Trying to put a border of protection around you makes you feel safe, but it's a lie. You're not actually safe. It makes you feel safe because that's what you needed at the time. But what you actually need is to be able to control the things that you can control, and let go of the other things that you can't. You can control who you have in your circle, your inner circle. Absolutely, you should be very choosy when it comes to who you allow in your inner circle, especially if you got kids, but also for yourself. So definitely be choosy, because the wrong people could fuck you up. I speak from experience. You can control. Well, I'm not going to dictate that to you. But trying to control other people, if people aren't doing things that make you feel safe, you might have to let them go. And I mean safe mentally, physically, or growing with you, you might have to let them go. Um, Figuring out what you can control, and anything that you attempt to control, I got my hands behind my back to stretch my shoulders. Anything that you attempt to control that's not easy, you're not supposed to be controlling it. I had to learn how to attract things to me, because the more I fought, the harder it was for me to obtain things. Now, some things are supposed to be hard. Like, I want to be like one of those African warrior goddesses that got the muscles in it, and they sturdy in the trunks and shit. I want to be like Xenon warrior princess. Like, that's who I feel like I am on the inside. That's going to take time. It's going to take, well, not really, because I build muscle like it's nothing. But it's going to take discipline. It's going to take practice. And discipline did not live here. I didn't have a discipline anywhere in my body. So I've learned that over the last few years, and it's still kind of, discipline does not mean everything in a perfect line. That's military shit. That's the army shit. That's government shit. That's controlling shit. Discipline does not mean everything in a perfect line. Don't fuck up ever. That's not what discipline is. I don't believe, it doesn't feel right to say that that's discipline. To me, discipline means the ability to be able to focus on the task at hand. And people will say, well, that means you got to focus on one thing. No, when I hyper focus on something, I may not hyper focus on that thing in 20 minutes, 20 days, 20 months. My discipline comes through whatever I'm interested in. It doesn't feel like hard work that I'm not getting anything out of other than a check. It fulfills me. So that to me is what discipline is. If I want to be like a warrior goddess, because I am one, if I want that muscle and that strong core, because the core ain't never been strong, I know I'm going to have to eat more greenery. I love starting the morning off with a green juice. I'm going to do that more often, or a green smoothie, like celery, kale. I recently bought these green juices. No, my roommate turned me on to the juices at 7-Eleven, and they got a green juice with mint in it. That shit is bomb. And of course, if you're not used to eating that much greenery, it might not taste good to you. But the mint with the apple, I said, I'm going to have to start making this because it is so good. My body loves me starting off the morning with a green juice. And then maybe like 30 minutes to, no, maybe I'll say about an hour or so later on, having something more filling. But a green juice, definitely. I'm going to have to take my probiotics for as long as I need them. Because, baby, the only reason why I still have this little pooch is because of the hernia, but also my gut health is getting worked out. I know there are certain things that I got to do, but it also makes me have more energy. All this yapping I'm doing, I just had green tea today. That's it. This is how much energy I naturally have when I do the things that I know my body likes. That's where the discipline comes in. It doesn't, I don't have to chug two. I used to drink like 3 cups of coffee daily. Energy drinks, it's a wonder I didn't end up in the hospital for way too much caffeine. But I ended up having to stop myself because with working too hard, if because I was laid out, it wasn't no point in drinking caffeine, so I ended up weaning myself off of, or was being forcibly weaned off of caffeine. So, you know, but my body likes things that make me feel good, make me feel kind of buoyant, light. You know, eating a bunch of beef and stuff, too heavy if I'm not working out. Now, if I because I don't have it in me right now to do a like a protein dense vegan or plant based type of diet. I don't have it in me just yet. I'm still working on some things mentally and physically and financially, so I don't have it in me just yet. Not yet. It's soon, but not yet because I do like it. But if I'm more active, then I can eat beef. Like if I'm doing a lot of this, a lot of lifting and stuff, I can eat beef because it's moving through my body. It's not just sitting here and slowing me down. I burn off. I'm supposed to eat more because of how much energy I naturally have. I didn't know that before. So when I was eating a lot as a kid, when people told me, don't eat that, don't do this, you're not supposed to eat that, you eat too much, I was eating the right amount of food. I just wasn't active as I needed to be because I was always in pain. See how that? So now that I'm more active, food goes right through me. And it's crazy that I did not realize this until after I turned 30. After I turned 30, I realized I was like, I gotta move more because I would eat something small and it would be like beef and stuff. It would make me so tired. I didn't like it. Or I would eat too many carbs and it would make me feel exhausted and I didn't like it. I was like, oh, I have to move more to balance it out. Got you. But I had to learn that through listening to myself, learning myself, remembering who I was at times when I was a kid when I wasn't being bothered by no goddamn body. And now that I've learned all of that, and it has taken so many years, and of course I'm gonna always be learning more, now I can go out and meet other people, learn from them, hear their stories, share mine, maybe learn more things from them, learn new techniques of things that I don't know how to do. Maybe share some of the failures because we're supposed to fail. Black sheep, you're supposed to fail because that's how you learn. It's an astrologer that I watch. He's a Vedic astrologer. I'll put his name here. He said an expert has failed more times than a beginner has started. And I said, that's the one. Because there's so many, I know so much. And I've had smart asses because they're smart asses. But some of them were genuinely asking, if you know all this stuff, why aren't you rich? Like, why aren't you like top 1% rich? I said, oh, one, I will be. I am. I'm top 1% rich. I am. I'm very wealthy. I'm very wealthy. However, I was supposed to take the lessons that I learned and the things that I learned, the techniques that I learned, share them with other people, and then move on to the next thing. Instead, because of how I was taught, oh, I left my water. Damn. Instead of because of how I was taught, I took the things that I learned and the failures, and I said, okay, I'm going to perfect them. Like taking a stake and putting it in the ground, if the wind's blowing. Like the wind was blowing me in another direction. I'm like, no, no, like that Michael Jackson video where he's like holding on. I was taking that stake in the ground. I was like, okay, I'm going to perfect it. I'm going to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And it started to work. I started to do more. I started to make more, but then I hit a wall because that's as far as I was supposed to go. And then I was supposed to take that and apply it elsewhere. And it wasn't getting through my head that that's what I was supposed to do, because I was taught once you learn how to do something and you're good at something, stick with it. That's not the truth for everybody. And I did stick with something. I was an adult entertainer, and I have been an adult entertainer for the past 10 years. Birdies! But that also helped me in marketing. It also helped me strengthen my communication skills. It helped me tap into people's psyches and what they actually want. Like, I've been a therapist. And in talking to the people that watch me and stuff, like, people have, it's mostly men, but men have told me that they felt less alone. Some of them made them feel like they were heard, which, me listening to men, if you knew me, when the fuck was I going to do, like, but some was just like, I never felt like I was being heard, or I felt like I was strange for doing X, Y, and Z, and it would be something like a light fetish. But you made me feel heard. I was like, yeah, you just have to figure out who hears you, who wants to hear from you, who wants to talk to you, your community, and how it makes you feel safe and how you can make other people feel safe. And you're good. Some of them ended up getting divorces because they realized that the person that they chose was not who they wanted. Some of them got married because they realized that they wanted that permanent connection. They wanted to connect to somebody. So it was a beautiful thing, and I saw all of these things, and I'm supposed to take it and put it somewhere else, apply it to other experiences, not just one thing. So black sheep, you are not supposed to only do that one thing. If you feel called to do one thing, great, because that's where you're going to thrive. But also, if you feel called to do one thing and you're fighting it, don't fight it. Or if you feel called to do something and you're fighting it, don't fight it. I've fought it. I have fought doing what I'm doing now because I didn't feel prepared enough. I didn't feel like I knew what I was talking about. I didn't feel ready enough. And I did have to wait until I felt ready, because if some people can absolutely do shit while they're scared. Now I can do that. I can do stuff while I'm scared or when I'm not prepared. But before, I had to get ready. I had to have that confidence in myself. And how I did that was, like I said, watching the kid movies, listening to the music that I enjoyed as a kid, coloring. One of my cousins bought me a coloring book, like an adult coloring book, years ago. I've been coloring in it like crazy. What else? Playing, wanting to explore. Children want to explore. Some children have no fear because they don't have no concept of fear. We put that on the children, or they, fall and have things happen to them. But wanting to explore like a child, wanting to tap into that childlike nature that's still in us, it's us. We just stomp it out. Like society makes sure to stomp that out. But we have to hold on to it, because that's what makes that's what makes us breathe. That's what makes us thrive. That's what makes us, whole. And if everybody starts to do that, my battery about to die. If everybody starts to do that, everybody will be whole. Now, you will have people that fight it, because sometimes it will be too much for people to step outside of their comfort zone. What could you possibly be doing while it's raining? I don't know what the hell that is. Anyway, you'll have some people fight against it because what they're used to is now being torn down. Don't pay attention to them. Pay attention to them, but don't give them your energy. Give yourself and your community that energy. You know, find ways to protect you and your community. Find ways to feed into you and your community, or you and your family, even if it's like a small community of 3 people or 2 people. Find out how to not only help other folks, and you ain't got to tell everybody. I'm noticing so many like farms and not just farms, but people who are trying to help folk. And yes, some of them have to be the catalyst to make sure that people see what's going on. They want to help, and they also are like, wait, why are these things getting shut down? But there's some people that just want the glory, they want the attention, and you can tell in the way that they are telling folks. Some things, everybody ain't got to know everything. Or if you tell folks, have a way to protect it. Some of us tell people things, and we have to let everybody know what we're doing. And that's okay. But I see some folks, and I'm just like, you would have had less stress if you didn't tell everybody your business. You would have had less stress. And I ain't just talking about the evil. I'm talking about physically people trying to shut shit down. People fucking shit up. People, what do you call it? Vandalizing stuff. And I'm just like, try it a different way. But I don't believe we need the big machine to help us. I feel like we have everything in us to help each other. We just have to start and help the kid in us. We just have to, Goofy movie, the extremely Goofy movie was my, that was my, the Goofy movie, fucking, what's his name? Something line. Tevin Campbell played him on the Goofy movie. If we listen to each other. That's doing that type of stuff made me so happy. It made me smile. It made me feel silly. Not being afraid to, and that was me as a teenager. I would go to the club. Well, not a teenager. Well, yeah, teenager, 18 over clubs. But after 21, no, I was a teenager. I was 18. Going to the clubs and lounges and stuff, and being the only one dancing, or me and my friends being the only ones dancing, and we pulling other people in the dance because people are too afraid of being judged. Who fucking cares? As long as people don't put their hands on you or don't call,